guys, it is Evan here from Evan's Sports Corner, and I'm back in the video here on the channel. And today I'm going to be talking about the college football playoff results. I know I didn't do any predictions. Honestly, I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think many people really saw what happened last night between Clemson and Ohio State. Crazy game. Justin Fields went off. Draft stock trending up for Justin Fields. And of course, Alabama destroyed Notre Dame. The usual. But yeah, before I hop in this video, remember to leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you're new so you'll not miss more sports content like this. Yeah, let's hop in the video. So the first game we're going to talk about, we're going to really briefly probably talk about the Alabama versus Notre Dame game. Pretty much all you need to know, Alabama destroyed Notre Dame. It was 31-7 for a while. Notre Dame did get a late TD on the Ian Book TD run, but Alabama was cooking up. At one point it was 14-7. Got a little close there for a bit, but Alabama figured out their passing attack. Najee Harris had an epic hurdle. At one point, he was averaging like 26 yards per carry. It was hilarious. And Devontae Smith went off, had a couple TDs, pretty much untouched on one of them. And yeah, just Alabama was working. Mac Jones went off. And Alabama got the big win, and making it back to the college football playoffs. Again, per usual. But yeah, congratulations to Alabama. Notre Dame, same old, same old. I mean, every year they make the playoffs as a 4 seed. They get whooped by whoever's the 1 seed. And Notre Dame, of course, it's tough for them. Their coach said, oh yeah, we had a chance to win. And I guess at one point they did, but they just could not stop Alabama's rushing attack. Najee Harris, they couldn't stop the passing game. Even though Alabama is missing some weapons on the offensive side. But yeah, Alabama still does what they usually do. And then the big game that pretty much shocked everybody is the Ohio State destroyed the Clemson Tigers last night. Absolutely insane. 49-28 Ohio State. Game might have been close at one point, but Clemson fell apart defensively. They got whipped on both sides. The lines, Trey Sermon was bursting through holes, had almost 200 yards in a TD run. Trey Sermon, the transfer back from Oklahoma, great decision for his career, became the starting back at Ohio State. He's run away with the opportunity, literally. Had a great game last night, but the passing attack is really what was crazy. 6 touchdown passes from Justin Fields last night, around to tight end Jeremy Ruckert, who had 2, which, by the way, shout out to Jeremy Ruckert. Ohio State's one of their main game plans for their offense against Clemson is using the tight end. They utilized Ruckert all night long, had a couple TDs, and just really went off in the passing game. Clemson could not defend him. Chris Olave had a couple TDs. Jamison Williams had a touchdown. Fields was airing it out. It was insane. A bunch of times, Clemson DBs were just getting beat deep by Olave, and Williams, and it was just so funny to watch. The Ohio State, they have been, they last year they did lose to Clemson off of a interception late in the game. When it was 29-23, they were driving downfield for the win. Potentially, Fields threw a gut-wrenching interception into the hands of a Clemson DB in the end zone, and that ended Ohio State. But this year he came back and he played incredible. The projected number 2 or 3 pick in this year's draft, he was amazing. Shout out to Justin Fields. He got pretty knocked out there for a second. Ribs. He's going to be in a lot of pain probably for the next couple days. That looked like a really tough shot. Yeah, and speaking of that, that was a really big game changer in the game. The Clemson linebacker Skalski was ejected from the game for targeting off of that controversial play, but yeah, hit Fields in the ribs with the crown of his helmet. It looked really painful for Fields. Yeah, Skalski is a defensive captain for Clemson, a huge loss on the defensive side of the ball. Fields was off for a play after that, but then he came in and threw a touchdown. And then went to the tent. But, Justin Fields looked great all night. He was especially doing really well with the deep ball and, of course, the tight end, like I mentioned earlier. And as for the Ohio State defense, Trevor Lawrence fumbled the ball multiple times, even though sometimes, a lot of the time, it was recovered by his linemen. They were getting whooped up front by Ohio State's elite defensive line. As many of you know, Ohio State has been producing incredible defensive linemen in the draft for the last couple of years. Nick Bosa and Chase Young, 2 superstars. So yeah, Ohio State knows what they're doing with their defensive linemen, and certainly whipping the Clemson O-line last night, forcing Trevor Lawrence to make plays, and really stopping the run game, including with guys like Travis Etienne and people like that. So when you add all of those up together, it leads to a big win. And while it's not too shocking to see Ohio State win, I'm sure a lot of people were predicting the number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, to light up Ohio State, and it kind of went the other way around. And I don't think anybody really saw Ohio State coming out, dropping nearly 50 points on them, and beating them by 21 points. I mean, at one point, the game was never really close after the 14-14. Ohio State just really got going. Shout out to them. They're going to be playing Alabama, which is going to be a really tough game. Really a true test again for their D-line. They're going to have to be able to beat the Alabama O-line. And the funny part is Clemson has one of the best offensive lines in the league in college football, but Ohio State was able to take advantage with their talent up front, and I think that's where really all their problems started. They couldn't really protect Trevor Lawrence, which made the offense a little rusty. Powell had a couple TDs for Clemson to try and make the game closer, but Ohio State always rallied back with a big touchdowns, with some big TDs from Fields, who just, like I said, his deep ball was on point every time pretty much. So Ohio State is back in the college football championship for the first time. Seems like a minute. Justin Fields probably going to declare for the draft this year. He'll probably be the number 2 or 3 overall pick, but teams' confidence in him, teams that are up front for the draft positioning, teams like the Jets and teams like that, definitely should be looking at Justin Fields right now, and probably should be very impressed, because that was Clemson right there. That's one of the top dogs in college football, and he absolutely destroyed their secondary. So shout out to Justin Fields and the Ohio State for making the college football championship. They're going to have a tough matchup against Alabama, but we'll see what ends up happening. That's going to be an intense game. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, so you not miss more sports content like this. Probably going to be streaming tomorrow. The Cowboys, of course. Big game tomorrow. So hopefully my boys will be in the playoffs. But yeah. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.